Hey there, it's Kimberly with Knit for Brains. Welcome to somewhere in the middle of the Pacific. Now, if you have just joined my channel and you just subscribed, you're thinking, what the heck is this channel all about? So let me just bring you up to speed. Normally, we do tutorials, we do book reviews, we do product reviews, we do all kinds of stuff. And we're still doing it here. The only difference is that I am currently on an 7-week excursion from Long Beach, California, all the way to Sydney, Australia. We're on a 27-day cruise, and then we're spending 3 weeks in Australia. So, still doing a lot of the same content, just a little bit different because I'm bringing you with me on this amazing cruise, and then we're taking you with me to Australia. So hang in there. If you're wondering what the heck are we doing, you just joined on at probably one of the best times because I'm virtually taking you on this amazing excursion. So today we are somewhere in the middle of the Pacific. We are on day 2 of our 5 days at sea before we come into Moorea, Tahiti, and then we're also spending 2 days in Papete. I used to call it Papite, but I know I'm saying it wrong, so I have to figure out how to say it properly. But so we are on day 2 of that. Today's a really kind of a fun day. If you've never cruised before, I'm kind of trying to show you a day in the life. So today, I'm actually kind of having a little bit of a quiet day. I'm having a little snack I'll show you here. But at 3 o'clock, we are going to be going to a high tea, and we're going to be enjoying tea as well as the captain's. For me, oh, thank you so much. Yes, please. Thank you very much. And I just had a drink delivered to me. I'm having a pineapple mojito, which, by the way, they're absolutely delicious. So, as I was saying, today we are going to tea at 3 o'clock. Now, if you don't know my cohort, my co-host in crime, the Brit, he's obviously British, my husband, and he loves tea. He loves the scones specifically. So we're going to a 3 o'clock afternoon tea here on the ship. So you have to be a little bit dressed for that. But tonight, I'm really excited. Tonight we're actually, we were on the waiting list, but we got in, and we are doing the chef's table, which is a very special meal, and it is extra. It's, I think, $140 per person, which is a little bit pricey, but it's so worth it. It is a beautiful, I think it's going to be a 5-course meal, and this prepared specifically for a group of 10 people. By the chef, and so it's really, really high level cuisine. Plus, what's really exciting is we actually get to take a tour inside the galley, inside the kitchen, which we haven't been able to do for years because of COVID. So we're getting to do that tonight. So I'm really excited, and hopefully I'll get a chance to take you guys along, if not as video, at least in pictures. So that's what's going on today. But right now, I'm going to have a little bite, and I'm going to show you what projects I'm working on here with my crochet, because if you have just joined us, I have 3 concurrent crochet projects going on. So I'm going to show you each one of those right now. Trying to find a quiet place on the ship can be a little tricky because there's noise happening everywhere. There's music and there's games and there's whatever. So I happen to be sitting in the Hollywood Conservatory, which there's a pool on the other side, but it smells really bad like chlorine today. So I've decided to come over to this side. Usually it's pretty quiet. We've got some Mahjong people playing behind us. I've got music over here sometimes. So gonna do the best that we can. Anyways, just wanted to show you what I was working on. So as you guys know, I'm making an Afghan in here, and I'll show you specifically. I'm making this Afghan right here. This is in the book Mix and Match, Modern Crochet Blankets. I love the premise of this book, which is that you basically make these different patterns in just different strips, and then you choose whatever you want. So it gives you different ideas here if you are just not imaginative, or you just are just starting out, not really sure. But then it gives you all the tutorials back in here. As I have worked through this, I'm going to tell you the instructions are written very, very well. So if you're looking for a specific tutorial, this is a great book just to figure out how to do some of these stitches. Really great tutorials, definitely, I would say, beginner friendly. So don't be afraid. This is a really very good, thorough book. Got a lot of ideas. I'm following one specific pattern because I'm making this for my stepdaughter, who specifically asked for grays, and I'm throwing in a few yellows. But this is the first stitch I did. This is a rigid ripple stitch. Came out really nice. So that's as white as this strip is going to be here. It's about 100 and 80 stitches or so. The second one I did is called the Alpine Stitch, which is a series of double crochets that are front posted. So you see it's got a little bit of a design ripple going on here. And that is going to go all the way across, probably, well, you can put them in any order that you want, but it's probably going to go across the top with the yellow. The third stitch I'm going to do is, it's called the Wavy Ways. So I haven't started this one yet, but it's this guy right here. And it shows you, that is number 23, so we're going to switch over to 23. So it's wavy days, similar to the ripple stitch. We're going to be working on this one right here. Now, what I'm going to do with this one's going to be a little bit different. As opposed to going horizontal this way, I'm going to make the pattern in a vertical, so the pattern's going to go across this way. So I'm going to use my cream, and it's going to be however wide I want it to be. But the stitches are going to go across this way, so it's going to be that way. So the stitches are going to go in a perpendicular way as opposed to a horizontal way, giving it a little bit of definition and a little bit of a difference, which is why I like this book so much, in that you can do them horizontal or you can do them perpendicular. So today I'm going to be doing the Wavy Days, which is really just a simple repeat wave stitch, I believe. It is a series of half double crochets, single crochets, half double crochets, 2 double crochets, triples. So it's going to be singles, half doubles, doubles, triples, doubles, half doubles. So it's going to do that kind of a deal. Okay, really simple, easy pattern to read. But again, I'm going to do it in a smaller segment. So it's going to go across this way, but I'm going to have it going that way. So that's one thing I'm working on today. So the other project that I'm working on that I'm alternating with, I typically do this one at night in the room just because. This is basically a very, very simple spike stitch. What's a little bit different about this, and it was confusing to me at first, is that the spike stitch, normally with a spike stitch you go into the entire stitch across the top, and then you go across the bridge, this being the bridge right here. To go across the whole thing. In this stitch, what it does is it have you working just into the front of the stitch. And so you're getting a double-sided look. In other words, on one side it's going to be predominantly one color, and the other side it's going to be predominantly the other. That's what I think they're trying to do here. So, but to do a V-stitch, and I've said this in a couple of my other videos, it's so simple. You just yarn over. You're going to do a double crochet in between. So these are my V-stitches. Here's one here, and here's one here. The V-stitch itself goes into the alternating stitches. So as you can see here, and you do 2 rows of each color. So right now I'm going into this V-stitch, but I'm going into the front of it. So I'm going into the row below, this one right here, and I'm going into the alternating color. This is my contrast color, this yellow, and then my main color is this variegated. So I'm going to go into that single stitch, but I'm bringing it forward as opposed to going through the whole entire bar. That is the difference in this particular pattern. Yarn over, so you do a double crochet, you yarn over, you go back in, and you do the same thing again. So you go in through, just into the front of that stitch. So you're bringing everything forward, as opposed to going all the way through. It's kind of just bringing it right here into the front. It's a little tricky, because like I said, normally a V-stitch, you just go through the whole entire, you just go through the whole thing. But this one here, you yarn over, you go into the stitch underneath, you bring it forward, you go into that top stitch, but you're only bringing it forward. You're not going through the whole entire bar. And that is really going to be your trick. And honestly, it was a little confusing for me. I've done a lot of these stitches, and this one was just a little bit unique to me. So again, you pull those stitches forward as opposed to going all the way through. Then you yarn over and pull through. And then you do your double crochet, you chain 1, and then you do it one more time. If you're just interested in doing a V-stitch, which is a beautiful stitch in and of itself, it's so simple. But it gives you a really great dramatic, if you're looking for really nice contrast between 2 yarns, the V-stitch is definitely going to be it's one of my go-tos. So this one here, and then you basically finish out the row. Now I've done one row in the main color, so I'm going to go back and do another row, and when I do that, I'm going into the stitches in between, so I'm alternating contrast color with the main color and contrast color with the main color in every stitch. And the last project, the third project I'm working on, is one that I'm just kind of developing myself, and it's the bobble stitch in this yarn. It's called Starry Night, and I'm just making a shawl. And the reason that it's sort of my own deal is because the pattern was originally written as a knit stitch pattern, and I know myself with knit, I have a lot of whips sitting around that are knit projects, and I thought I don't want this to be one of them. So I decided on the fly to change it into my crochet. And what I really wanted to do was to feature the yellows. This is an assigned pooling yarn, which means it's very specific as to where the different pockets of colors are. So I wanted to show you here today the difference between the popcorn stitch and the bobble stitch. It's a slight difference, but it does make a really unique pattern. So for the popcorn stitch, you're going to work however many, and popcorn stitches, either one of these, bobbles or popcorn, can vary in the size. Let's say I'm doing a popcorn stitch. I'm going to do, let's say I'm going to do a double crochet, and you're going to figure out how many you want to put. So depending on how many I need to use to get through my yellow is what I'm going to put in here. So each stitch in the popcorn stitch you actually finish, as opposed to the bobble stitch, which is basically a yarn over that you keep on your hook. I'll show you that in a second. So you continue to do your popcorn stitches here. So here I've got 4, and that's probably what I can do. So then what you do is you pull out of your working yarn, making a big loop so you don't lose it, come into the back of your first stitch, and then grab a hold of that working yarn again, and then you do a single crochet to close those off. So that's going to be your popcorn stitch. As you can see all the stitches up here at the top. Okay, and maybe it's called a popcorn stitch because it has a little bit of that rough edge. Let's go ahead and take this out, and I'm going to show you the difference between that and a bobble stitch. So again, with the popcorn stitch, you finish off every stitch, and then you collect them with your first stitch and your last working stitch. With the bobble stitch, you yarn over, go into that stitch, pull through. You don't finish your stitch. You yarn over again. You go through and you yarn over, and you continue to do this until you have the right number of bobbles. Now in this particular instance, I'm making about 15 yarn overs, or in other words, there's 15 stitches yarn overs on my hook. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. So we know that that's 13 because each one, the yarn over and then you pull through, is giving you 2. So that should give me 15 right there. So you notice it's a little bit denser, there's a little bit more yarn on here than there is with your popcorn stitch. I probably have enough to do one more. So it gets a little tricky. You're going to pull through. Now that I have all these stitches on my hook, you yarn over and you pull it through all of your stitches, and then you close it off with a single crochet. That is a bobble. So you can see here how it just looks a little bit puffier and fuller than your popcorn stitch. And then you just go into your next stitch and just do your single crochet or your double crochet, whatever it is that's appropriate for your pattern, and then you just pop them through. So again, in this instance here, all of my bobble stitches are on the right side. So you can either do it as you go or all at the end, but you just basically pop them through. So as you can see, the bobble stitch, you don't see those top ruffles or the stitches at the top. It's one continuous stitch that goes into that one stitch. Whereas the popcorn stitch, each stitch you finish off, whether you're doing a double crochet, a half double crochet, or whatever the pattern calls for. That's the difference between your bobble stitch and your popcorn stitch. So again, this is Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. I'm going to be coming to you tonight. I just did my nails on the ship as well. But we're going to be going to the tea at 3 o'clock, so I'll show you that, and the captain's table tonight, which is really exciting, or rather I think it's called the chef's table. So hopefully I'll be able to take you for a tour inside the kitchen. So I'll be back and we'll see you soon. Hello. Where are we?
We are in the concerto dining room for cream tea.
Cream, what does cream tea mean?
Well, I'm going to go inside.
Cream, scones and jam, in my mind.
Oh, and sandwiches too, right?
Can be sandwiches as well, yeah.
But there are sandwiches as well. Gonna have sandwiches as well, and tea. Hello.
Yes, what have you got?
Having cheese, egg, roast beef. This is vegetable like tomato and cucumber, and I have mozzarella.
I'd like to try the green.
No tuna?
Tuna coming. You need to refill.
Okay.
Like wait for a second. I will make you.
I'll take a vegetable one while I wait.
I would like an egg salad, please. And then I'll have tuna when it comes around.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna take the carrot cake and then a fruit tart, please. Please. Thank you very much. I don't want to miss out on that carrot cake. Raisin scone. Thank you very much. My goodness.
Yep, 2 So for your Thank you very much.
It just keeps coming. Ooh.
There's a plain.
Yes, we do know where that is.
Yes, please. Cream and jam, please. Just, yes, lovely. Thank you. I'll move my egg out of the way. There we go. Thank you so much. Lovely. Tuna is my last request. Oh, look at those sandwiches. Those look amazing. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes, tuna for me, please. And I'll take a piece.
My goodness gracious. Look at all that. There's tuna, an egg salad, and carrot cake. And... So, Brit, explain to me tea. Why do we have tea? How is it different than lunch? You're on the spot, hot seat. It's a huge thing for the Brits, isn't
it? It's a
it?
big thing because if you have dinner in the middle of the day, tea is your final meal usually.
Why would you have dinner in the middle of the day? It's lunchtime.
Because by definition, dinner is the biggest meal of the day. And a lot of people eat their biggest meal of the day in the middle of the day.
Well then, what do you have at lunchtime?
There is no lunchtime, it's replaced by dinner.
Oh.
You either have breakfast, lunch, and the biggest meal of dinner in the evening, or you have breakfast, dinner, which is the biggest meal in the middle of the day, and then a light tea.
Oh, so this would be the light tea, but we're having dinner later.
Just to really mix things up, yeah.
Ah, gotcha. To go to behind the curtain of silence.
Did you enjoy the champagne?